All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Scent Bubble. Hey, listen, so if you haven't heard already, my new Discord is available and people are flooding in. I think we're at about 50 people right now. A fragrance Discord that is active and popping, recommendations, scents of the day, private hangout voice chat time with me and the community, getting to know each other and just providing a lot of value no matter where you are in your journey. It's a great place to hang out. So definitely check the description of this video if you want to be a part of it. And the reason I bring that up is because there is a section on there where you can recommend episode ideas to me if there's something you'd like me to in particular to talk about. And so this is a subscriber question. He basically asked how you approach daily driver signature scents. And the point that he was making was that a lot of people who collect fragrances now have so many fragrances that they can't possibly have a signature scent anymore, whereas regular everyday people probably have less than 3 to 5 bottles, and so they actually have more of a signature scent that they can wear every day. I think he just wanted me to kind of unpack that a little bit. So I'm going to freestyle and go through some things that I want to talk about with it and later make more of a fuller drawn out video on this, really making sure I address as many aspects of it as possible for a well-rounded talk about it. But I think I can take a bulk majority of what is important to say about it. Number one, the fragrance world is changing. How many fragrances we have is changing. Our awareness of the fragrance market is changing. People are starting to wear more things. You know, maybe back in the day, you used to light candles when you wanted to make the house smell good. And then you eventually graduated to aerosols and still use your candles, but they had different functions. And then maybe you moved into incense and you started lighting some Nag Champa or some incense that you would pick up at the thrift store or the market, things like that. And then maybe you were around when they made infusions and kind of these melted waxy candle-like blocks where you would set them on a hot stone or something and it would kind of burn the oil or the wax oily material into the air, and that would make the air fragrant. And then maybe you had something for your air conditioning unit that made the whole house smell good. And there's just all these different things that have added to the fragrance space. Maybe at once upon a time you used to use bar soap, and then you moved on to body washes, and then you moved on to body sprays, and now you use a mix of all of them, or maybe you found one in particular that it's just more practical for you. And the same thing with fragrances. The way we think about fragrances, purchase fragrances, and wear fragrances is constantly changing. Now, I don't think that this means that somehow people who have more fragrances, it's harder to find a signature scent, or maybe they don't actually have a signature. I just think the definitions are changing. What used to mean a signature scent, which would be one fragrance that a person was known for wearing, I think there's some fundamental nuts and bolts to that concept that are still applicable today, whether you have one fragrance or 1,000 fragrances. I think a signature scent, quite simply, is something that you're known for. And you don't specifically have to be known for a fragrance name. You can be known for something that the fragrance provides. This guy is known to always smell fresh. This guy is always known to smell comforting and sweet. I like to give this guy hugs. Things like that can be signature. Now signature scents are things for special occasions and different occasions, actually, not just stuff that's super important. So there's different things to be known for by a fragrance. How I think of a daily driver signature fragrance, again, this is not just the only application, but in the daily driver signature scent concept, I typically gravitate towards freshness. I think an emphasis of freshness in a fragrance allows for, number one, versatility. And with a signature scent, for me, it's less about a special occasion and it's more about every occasion. what is a fragrance that I don't have to think about and is useful and provides utility in every situation and makes me have an enhanced mood, feel more confident, is complementary to the space and my lifestyle in as many situations as humanly possible. I also think when you emphasize a fragrance in terms of freshness where it's very versatile, you have more room to manipulate the fragrance to have different nuances, such as layering the signature scent with another fragrance or multiple fragrances, with oils and or body washes and different things like that. So you can, the more fresh and versatile a fragrance is, the more it probably layers with a couple of different complementary notes that can bend and shape shift the fragrance when it's appropriate. Maybe the occasion gets more serious or maybe not. So I think the definitions are constantly changing, but I think for you, your signature scent should be something that is like your autograph. You're always known to wear this fragrance. You know, and again, it could be a limited occasion or every occasion. It doesn't have to be my definition. But when I think through the fact that I have a ton of bottles, my signature scents can change. But when I think about a signature scent, I typically am thinking of very versatile scents that I don't have to think about, that enhance my situation and that I would enjoy wearing as much as humanly possible, kind of more in the traditional realm. And it really doesn't matter, man. I think sometimes people can think of signature scents as something very complex and the highest of the high, maybe something like an Amouage Enclave as a signature scent. But this wouldn't really be a scent that you would wear every day. It'd be a certain season or maybe a certain special occasion or level of appropriateness for this. So maybe people think of signature as, you know, when special times are around, this is what you're known for popping out in. And I completely understand that sentiment. But for me, I associate signature with daily drivers that are amazing. And I, again, lean on freshness. So my daily driver fresh signatures are not the most complex scents, but they're extremely fresh and extremely approachable and extremely versatile. So for instance, we could start off with something very expensive, such as Acqua di Parma Colonia Pura. And this fragrance is a niche level product, and it's essentially a very clean, linen-y, slightly floral, white flower, ultra fresh fragrance. And it's crazy how high the compliment factor is on my skin with this fragrance. When I wear it, it just feels like a glorified CK1 or something to me. But when I tell you, every compliment I get, wow, whatever you're wearing smells amazing, smells fresh, smells like laundry, you know, smells like happiness, smells like you just got out of the shower, smells heavenly. It's absolutely crazy. And yet, if I want to manipulate and bend this fragrance, I can add citrus, I can add fruits, and I can do that via another fragrance, oils, or body washes. And so I can manipulate this fragrance, and it's reliable in anything because it's just super clean and fresh. I could rock it with a suit, a collared shirt, swim trunks, super casual stuff, right out of bed, on a date, tried and true, very simple, but very niche level, elegant. Or you could take it down to the designer realm. Speaking of CK, a fragrance like CK1, super approachable, everyday, light, white floral freshness, linen-y, heavenly goodness, and super manipulatable, super reliable. You don't have to think. When you put it on and you go outside, you know it's adding something net positive to the day. And it can be something that you could be known for. Again, doesn't necessarily have to be known by your scent profile as much as your vibe. And the vibe of freshness and cleanliness is always typically going to be something that a lot of people respond to. I also don't think that your signature scent has to be something with a high compliment factor either, but why not? You know what I'm saying? That's why I tend to lean to more of the simplistic structures and stuff that I can manipulate, because it's just so approachable in every situation. So the CK1, I think it's a slept-on masterpiece, because when we talk about fresh laundry and cleanliness, it is just so nice. And you can, you know, Jedi mind it and switch it to be a bunch of different styles. And that's really cool. Or, you know, on the clean category, you can go as old as a fragrance like this, which is English leather. Something along the lines of like a Neroli Portofino style as a splash, where this is just a super grassy green, light, crisp, bright, fresh fragrance with some citrus, with a lot of citruses and a little touch of florals, but it's mostly a grassy vetiver citric fragrance that's very light, airy, crisp, and clean. And you can pack that on. So my style might be a little bit, that smells amazing. My style in that fragrance was made probably like early 1900s or something. So my style is a little bit different, you know. You could go up and say something like Nishane's Ani X is a signature scent, because the complexity, and it's a Four Seasons fragrance, and you're always you could be known by it, and no one's gonna smell like you, and you could approach it from that type of angle. But for me, I'm much more simplistic. I always prioritize freshness with the signature scent, because when I think through signature scent, again, it's frequency. I want to be known for smelling like that consistently. And Ani X, for instance, is not, or Enclave is not a fragrance that I'm just going to be wanting to grab and wear every single day. Otherwise, I'll get bored of it and I won't appreciate it. That's just how my nose works. But I think another thing, and I mentioned this earlier, is, you know, I'm into oils a lot. So when I think through a signature scent, I go the more basic route, because I know at the end of the day, if I want to give it a sweet emphasis or a floral emphasis or a spice emphasis or a woody emphasis, I can constantly play with oils to make the fragrance shape shift and become, you know, it's a signature fragrance that almost feels like you have 5 or 6 flankers of it. You know, it's almost like with the oils, I can make it feel like I have Sauvage EDT, EDP, P, and Sauvage Elixir at different points in the day, when really the only thing I'm changing is the oils underneath it. So again, I think the definitions are a moving target. They're changing. The way we wear, buy, and think through fragrance is different. Everybody's got different collections. But for me, signature scents will always be things that you wear the most and have the most flexibility. And so airy, light, fresh scents typically tend to be my style of signature scents, whereas for others, it may be stuff that has more complexity or more distinctness. Maybe you're known for having a cherry smoke type of scent. Maybe you're known for beautiful niche citrus style scent, and you'll just wear that all the time. For me, I lean towards that high quality cleaning product, freshness, airy crispness, light on the skin, a slight compliment to the day, not overly loud type of thing, so that when people get in within my vicinity, my aura is signature, if that makes sense. But sound off in the comments if you have any feedback about this. Again, I appreciate the person who asked about this, and I'll be going into way more of a deep dive later on signature scents and the history of how signature scents have been viewed, and if that's changed at all since we've been fragrant beings for quite a long time. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe, more importantly, turn on that notification bell. Talk to me, I do talk back. And if you have questions for me that you want me to turn into an episode to share with all of the subscribers, please look in the description below and you will find a link to my free, at the moment, Discord, where you can interact with over 50 members of the community currently, and that's just constantly growing every single day. So I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your week, and until next time, peace.